The Conservatives are demanding the government rescind the benefits convicted murderer Christopher Garnier is getting to treat his PTSD. He is the son of a veteran, and his treatment is being paid for by the Department of Veterans Affairs. Here's how that all played out in question period today.
Will he do the right thing and cancel the benefits that Mr. Garnier is receiving?
I will not, even in this most trying and egregious of times, when the son of a veteran is a convicted cop killer, I will not turn my back on that veteran.
This is not a theater today for this minister to pat himself on the back. This is a place where we ask him to solve this now or resign.
Even in the most trying of circumstances, we will stand with our veterans.
We are not talking about a veteran. We're talking about a 30-year-old murderer who never spent a day in uniform.
One of the people at the center of this is a veteran.
Treatment benefits are not to be provided to a veteran's family member who is incarcerated in a federal facility.
Do you have any response to Michelle Rempel? She called you a coward on Twitter.
No.
As Veterans Affairs Minister Seamus O'Regan just stated, a new directive has been issued regarding benefits and incarcerated family members of veterans going forward. But why did the government wait until now to act? And does veterans' confidentiality trump full disclosure in how this case came about? It's time for the Power Panel. In Toronto, host of Global News Radio 640 AM's morning show, Supriya Dwivedi, along with Melissa Lantzman of Hill and Knowlton. Here with me in studio, Earnscliffe Strategy Group's Kathleen Monk and Catherine Cullen of CBC News. Catherine, I'm going to start with you. The minister would not explicitly say today at any point and asked over and over and over again if this actually applies to the case at hand.
Yeah, so if this was an attempt to clean this issue up, I'm not sure that that's actually what was achieved today. I was particularly struck with some of the comments that were made in question period there. You know, Seamus O'Regan saying we stand with our veterans on this issue. And he's making the point that he stands with the father of this man. But I think there are a lot of veterans who do not feel that they are being stood with when Christopher Garnier is receiving these benefits, and the point that the Conservatives keep making that there are a lot of veterans who feel that perhaps they ought to be receiving other benefits that they are not. So I think attempts to clear this up today, I'm not sure that that particular objective was achieved. Yes, going forward, the government has made it clear that they don't believe that this situation will occur again. But in terms of this specific situation, I'm not really sure where this leaves us.
Kathleen?
It's a really interesting political situation. I think Catherine raises a good point, because I think a lot of kind of rank and file veterans might, when they read the headlines and the news about the story, obviously disagree with the decision that Veterans Affairs has made. That said, it's a slippery slope. And I think some people who are more critical, some policy watchers, policy drafters, are concerned that once you open up the door and decide that no family member who has ever been, who serves in a provincial or federal facility will ever get access to any benefits, what else could change, right? And I think that question is fair to be asked. Like, could they take more benefits away? This person, the individual, did not lie to get the benefits, did not cheat to get the benefits that were awarded to him. Now, there can be a decision made, but it should be made on the basis of the Minister of Veterans Affairs being called a coward and being asked to resign the House. There's lots of drama, lots of fireworks in the House. And I would say that from a New Democratic point of view, it's interesting, right? Because we've seen kind of the revolving door thing again happen, where we have Conservatives who have cut veterans' offices, Liberals who've come back into office, created those offices again, but then failed to staff them. We've seen Conservatives cut the budget. The Liberals might not cut the budget, but they just fail to spend the money, right? So we're actually not improving the lives of veterans. And I think what we have to do is address, and I think Irene Matheson, the NDP, former Veterans Affairs critic, said it so well in the House. We have to ensure these veterans have housing, affordable housing, access to addiction services, mental health benefits, even things like access to service dogs. These things should be the priority list. And when we get a huge news story out of something like this, it's not helpful to the actual veterans.
Right, but Melissa, this story resonated for a reason. I mean, this is somebody who said he got his PTSD from the murder that he committed in 2015 of an off-duty police officer.
Absolutely. Well, first of all, it's outrageous on the surface as an issue, but I don't understand the political capital that was expended on this. This is a really, really big failure of a comms team, of an issues team that read this like last month in August. That is the month before the month that we are currently in. So for a month, you've had the Conservatives, and rightfully so, raise questions, and frankly, the minister not doing anything about it. That's concerning. You know, on the vets issue aside, yeah, I think both parties have failed the veterans, but giving money to a convicted cop killer who didn't serve, well, that's not taking care of vets.
Supriya?
Yeah, and I mean, I would just add to that, especially when so many of our veterans go without getting their benefits, right? And I think what was particularly egregious about this, I won't get into the gory details, but it was the manner and the gruesome manner in which he had killed this off-duty police officer, and that's what gave him apparently PTSD. This is a comms failure. This should have been addressed from the jump. I do appreciate Kathleen's point, however, that, you know, we are getting into a bit of a slippery slope area, but I can't understand how anybody, let alone a minister, it's like you just need a few working brain cells to have seen that situation and go, okay, yeah, maybe this is one of those instances in which the benefits wouldn't be paid. And if anything, it's not like they would go, his PTSD would be untreated, right? Then it would be the service, it would be the jail system that would have taken that over.
What do you make of the argument they're making today around privacy, though? And Supriya, I just wanted to ask you, especially from a legal point of view, the minister keeps saying, I can't say whether this applies to this case, and keeps citing privacy. Is that a valid reason?
I mean, that's fair, and that's valid insofar as that you can use that as a bit of a political line. But I think ultimately the opposition is going to rightfully hammer the government to give them some sort of an answer, and whether or not that is, you know, straightforward and saying, yes, his benefits have been taken away, or if there's a strategic sort of leak that gets out and it comes to light that his benefits have been taken away, then I think ultimately that's not going to be put to rest until the opposition gets those answers.
Super quickly, I would just say Melissa was so right when it was a communications problem. And it reminded me of last summer, summer 2017, with the problems that Minister Morneau had from a comms point of view. And when you have a crisis like this, you want to cauterize it immediately. You want to fix it. You want to solve it. And it's a good point that it has been out there for over a month.
And really quickly, just to tell our viewers, the Conservative Opposition Day motion on this was just defeated 151 to 127. I believe the NDP, the Bloc, and the Green Party voted with the Conservatives on this one.